Hello, hello, Chakra Explorers. Welcome to Chakra Activation Yoga. And this is the Energy Anatomy module. So this is a bonus module that I put in here to really acquaint you all with some basic kind of yogic vocabulary terms, so we're all on the same page. Also to have a baseline experience of what a chakra feels like. So again, we are all, having an experience and able to work our language around that experience. And we're also going to get into a little bit of, chakra details in this module. So I'm so glad you're here, and get comfortable. We are not going to be doing any, yoga per se. This is just a kind of learning module. But you might want to get your yoga journal out for this. Okay, so we are going to proceed to the first slide. So, basic yoga energy anatomy vocabulary. So what we are going to be learning here is about prana. You may have heard these terms, maybe even you have defined these terms already, but I want to get everybody on the same page. So prana, nadi or nadis, plural. What is a nadi or nadis? Then we are looking at the three main nadis, Sushumna, Ida, and Pingala nadi. And then, of course, chakra. What does that mean? And what is a chakra? All right, let's continue. So, beginning with prana. So, prana is defined, as you can see here, in a couple different ways. It's in Sanskrit, it's a Sanskrit word, and it often translates to primary energy, also vital energy, life force, and it also means to fill. Okay, so just defining our terms, we're going to get into more and more detail, but I want to just start there. Prana. Okay, nadi. Okay, so nadi, again, a Sanskrit word that means channel, stream, or flow. All of the above, any of the above. And so the nadis, right, are a energetic irrigation system. I love that descriptor. So there are 72,000 nadis within the human kind of physical energetic body. And these create the energetic irrigation system for prana. So prana, right, we invite in through the breath, through pranayama, breathing techniques. We increase our vital energy, our primary energy, our life force through a variety of different techniques, but pranayama is the primary one. And when prana comes in to our physical energetic system, right, it is kind of encouraged, right, through the help of the chakra system to irrigate, right, all the way to all the parts of the body. Okay, so all these things work together. Prana, right, works through nadis and is distributed through the chakra system, through nadis, and chakras. Okay, and we're going to get to that next. Chakras are the gears that keep that system in a fluid state. Before we get to chakras, I want to describe the three main nadis. Okay, so there is the Ida Nadi and the Pingala Nadi, and then the Sushumna Nadi. Okay, so Ida, and I'm going to go just kind of show you how this works here. Actually, let's go here. All right, I'm going to move this over here. All right, so here you can see we have the Ida. Okay, it's this kind of silver channel, okay, that goes here. Then we have the Pingala, okay, which is the gold, and it goes like that. Okay, Ida Pingala. Let's go back. We'll return to this slide. Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, so the Ida Nadi is the moon channel, okay, as opposed to the Pingala Nadi, which is the sun channel. So we're starting to work with these polarities right away, the moon channel and the sun channel. The Ida Nadi kind of originates on the left side of the body, okay, down at the root chakra, Muladhara chakra. I'll show you again in the picture, but I just want to talk about the qualities of the Ida moon channel versus the qualities of the Pingala Nadi. So Ida, the moon, is cooling, reflective. It's more on the mental and emotional kind of spectrum. It's considered feminine and magnetic. Okay, lots of different ways to describe that aspect of our experience in a human body, right? You can pick and choose what feels appropriate to you as you begin to have more experience with these energies. These are just starting places, defining our terms. So we're, have a place to begin. Again, like I said, Pingala is the sun channel. It's considered heating, active, physical, masculine, and electric. Okay? The most important thing to know at this point is that we are both, right? We have both the Ida and the Pingala energies inside of us. Okay? And so these polarities are constantly, right, in relationship, and we can access them and use them, right, as needed. But this is a really important part of understanding kind of energy anatomy from a yogic perspective. Okay, these two main channels. And then let's go here. So chakra means wheel in Sanskrit. Okay, and that's because there's actually, right, these are energetic gears, right, that spin, and they work together like gears do, right, kind of working together to distribute prana and vital energy throughout the physical, emotional, energetic system. Okay. Like any system, chakras can get depleted or dysfunctional at any point. And thus we have all these tools and techniques to explore, right, how to vitalize, energize, activate these chakras so that our whole physical, energetic, emotional system is nourished, right, by prana, by this life force, and that the prana can get where it needs to go throughout this energetic irrigation system. Let's look again, okay, at this diagram of the yogic chakra system. Okay, so here, right, we have the Sushumna. Okay, this is the central channel. Okay, and I describe the Sushumna like an energy tube, okay, that runs from the base of your spine all the way up to the top of your head. Okay, in the physical sense, the base of your spine all the way up to the top of your head. Okay, and then again, so that's one of the 3 main nadis. Then we have the Ida, okay, coming out of the left side of the root chakra, okay, and weaving its way, right, up, coming together here with Pingala at the 3rd eye, Ajna chakra, and then moving up Sushumna to the crown chakra together with Pingala, okay, and then coming back down here we have the Pingala, the gold channel, okay, the electric, right, the sun channel, starting on the right side, okay, and moving up, weaving up, okay, joining together here and rising up to the crown chakra. So what you'll notice here, and this is really important, is that we have, anytime there is a chakra, okay, we have this union, this coming together of Ida and Pingala. They start together here at the root chakra, right? They separate, okay, and then they come back together here at the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana chakra, okay? They separate and they come back together, right, in a unified state here at Manipura, the navel chakra. They separate, they come back together at Anahata, your heart chakra. They separate, they come back together at Vishuddha, the throat chakra. Separate, come back together at Ajna, 3rd eye chakra. And they stay together, right? They're unified here in a unified state to get up into that crown chakra consciousness. Okay, so this is a way to visualize the chakra system. What are chakras? Chakras are, aspects of consciousness, right? Each of these colors represent aspects of consciousness that we have within us. And these aspects of consciousness live in our body. They are body consciousness. And so our body and the way that our body is allows us to experience these aspects of consciousness. So it's all together, right? It's not a consciousness that lives somewhere else or just up here. The chakra system is a system of body consciousness that we get to explore and activate as we learn more and more about it. So let's go on and do that. Okay, what does a chakra feel like? All right, so all these terms are great. That's wonderful, and that's really important to understand what these words mean. But I want you to have an experience of a chakra. I want you to be able to say, oh, yeah, I know what a chakra feels like. And I want that to be the baseline of your exploration, because it will change, it will grow, it will expand the more and more that you work with these energies within yourself. But this is the very beginning, and here we are. So let's do it. Okay, so here's an exercise that I do, and I do this pretty much every day as part of my daily practice, and I do this in all my workshops and classes. So I want to start here with you. So this is a tuning in exercise. It's also referred to as prana play in the Chakra Activation yoga system, in the Chakra Activation deck. If you have one, you may have already been playing with this. So we're going to begin here. I want you to sit comfortably. All right. And I want you to bring your palms together at your heart. All right. And you are going to close your eyes and begin to rub your palms, all right, together pretty vigorously as you keep breathing deeply through your nose. And what I want you to notice is the heat in between your hands. So keep rubbing, keep breathing, relax your shoulders. Just give your full attention to your palms and notice what's happening there. Okay. Keeping your eyes closed. I'm going to invite you to lift your arms up above your head. Keep breathing. Keep rubbing. A couple more breaths here. Keep noticing that heat. Beautiful. One more breath. Okay, keep your eyes closed. Stop rubbing your hands and lower your hands in front of your heart again, where we started. Okay. Keeping your eyes closed, I want you to inhale and let your hands separate. Notice the sensation between your palms. Okay, and then as you exhale, let your palms come close together, but don't let them touch. Okay, and then inhale, you're going to let your hands separate. Notice that sensation in between your hands. Exhale, let your palms come closer in. Again, keep noticing. You're just going to do this, let's do 30 seconds. Eyes are closed. You're just really noticing sensations. Good. 2 more breaths. Last one. And on this last one, you can let your palms come all the way in. They're going to just finally touch. Okay, take a couple more breaths just to settle back in. You can open your eyes. You can relax your arms. Okay, so right now, I want you to take a moment and write in your yoga journal just 1 or 2 words that describe the sensation that you felt in between your hands. Okay, describe the sensation. Right? So P.S. I don't want to know what you think that is. Right? Even if you have a sense that you know what that is, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for descriptive words to, kind of share about what that felt like. Just take 15 seconds. Wonderful. Okay, so that's whatever you felt. And if you didn't feel anything, okay, I want you to do it again. And do it again and do it again. Not necessarily all right now, but I do want you to keep engaging with this practice. This is first and foremost a tuning in, okay, to your subtle body, which is where the chakras kind of live, right, in your subtle body, even though they influence and are informed by your physical body and your emotional body. They live in what we call the subtle body. And, in order to kind of play with and explore the subtle body, we need to be able to tune into the subtle body. And this is the primary practice, okay? It's different than having a physical body where you can be like, oh, this feels like, pliable, right? And warm and malleable, right? Okay. We're playing with the subtle body, and I want you to have an experience of the subtle body and be able to describe what's that subtle body feel like. Okay. So if you did feel something and you wrote something down, great. So moving on. And just know before we move on that every time you do this, right, that description might be different. Okay, that's how dynamic and wonderful the subtle body is. Okay. Okay, so congratulations. Right? What you just described, what you just experienced is, drumroll please, a chakra. Okay, so technically it's a minor chakra, also affectionately known as the hand chakras. Okay, and I'll explain what all that means in a little bit, but still, okay, that is, right, the sensation that you had in between your hands. Okay, right? What you were describing, what you were experiencing. Right? Maybe you didn't even have words for it. Maybe it's so subtle that you didn't even sense it yet. Okay, but that is a chakra. Okay, so I want to start there. Okay, it may have felt light. It may have felt heavy. It may have felt magnetic. It may have felt electric. It may have felt stringy. It may have felt bubbly. It may have had a certain color to it. It may have felt like water. It may have felt like air. It may have felt like fire. It may have, you name it, okay? So many different ways to describe. But what I want you to get in the practice of is tuning into that aspect of all you are, right? Acknowledging, right, that there is a realm of experience that lives, right, in between these two physical things. Okay, there is a realm of sensation, okay, that exists, and that's what we're exploring when we explore the chakras, and that's where we're beginning. So part of this is because I am really all about taking the chakras out of the woo-woo, and I want you to have a practical experience of the chakras, right? That's really, really important to me. And all the chakra activation yoga tools and techniques are stacked up upon this to enhance that experience, right? And that's why we start here. So now when I say chakra, you have an actual feeling and sensation and experience that you can relate to and attach a word to. Okay, let me explain a little bit more about the minor chakras of the hands. Okay, so this is what you need to know. Everybody has chakras. Everybody has chakras, okay? Imagine you are at the doctor's office, all right? And you notice the posters on the wall, okay? And up here, right, you see the skeletal system, and it shows all the bones of the body. And you're like, okay, that's great. I can relate. I got bones somewhere inside there. I've got bones. And then you see the picture, the muscular system, and it shows all the muscles of the body. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I got muscles. I can feel them. I understand that that's inside of me. And then you look at the nervous system, and it shows all the nerves of the body. Okay? So, looking closely at the nervous system, okay, you'll notice along the spine large networks of intersecting nerves called plexi. Let's look. Okay? So, here, okay, we have, right, a plexus. Okay? Right? These nerves kind of bundled together. Here we have a plexus, right? These nerves bundled together. Okay? Right? We have up here a plexus, right? We have up here a plexus. Okay? So let's go back here. What is a plexus? Okay, we have the coccygeal plexus, right? It serves a small region over the coccyx. We have the sacral plexus. It serves the pelvis, the buttocks, the genitals, the thighs, the calves, the feet. The celiac plexus, the solar plexus, right? Serving the internal organs, right? Cardiac plexus, serving the heart. brachial plexus serves the chest, shoulders, arms, and hands, and the cervical plexus serves the head, neck, and shoulders. Okay? Also, right, what you can notice, I don't know if this picture shows it. No, because we don't have hands. But if you were looking at a different chart, you would notice also all these nerve endings at the hands and the feet. Okay, so if you had one of those big posters, you'd notice nerve endings at the hands and the feet. Okay, so moving right along. Okay, so now another thing that you would notice, if you superimposed the chakra chart, okay, with the root chakra down at the base of the spine, right, and the crown chakra up at the top of the head. If you superimpose that chart over the nervous system chart, you'll see that right around, right, where these nerve plexi are along the spine also happens to be where the major chakras are along the spine. Okay? Very interesting, right? The root chakra associated with the longest nerve in the body, the sciatic nerve, also the coccygeal plexus, the sacral chakra and the sacral plexus, the navel chakra and the solar plexus, the heart chakra and the cardiac plexus, throat chakra and the brachial plexus, the third eye chakra and the cervical plexus. Okay? And the crown chakra associated with the brain and central nervous system up here. So what we have, okay, is, an association of the chakras with these nerve plexi, okay? The nerves, right, obviously being associated with certain body parts and kind of what I call spinal zones, okay? And the chakras as well being associated with certain spinal zones and certain nerve plexi, okay? And so back to the hands, right? When we, right, rub the hands, right, and stimulate all the nerves, right, of the hands, okay, the minor chakras of the hands, okay? And then we add in, guess what? Prana. We add in prana. We add in life force, okay? And then we open to the possibility of, right, sensation beyond the body, right? Kind of the emotional, energetic aspect of all we are, right? We notice, right? There's sensation there, okay? Is that my actual physical nerves? No. Right? This is the realm of the chakra system. Okay? Let's continue. All right, so bringing it back, just showing this picture again. All right, this root down here, crown there. Okay. So, am I saying that chakras are nerve centers? No, I am not saying that. I'm saying that chakras are experiences of energy associated with different nerve plexi. Okay? They're not the nerves. They are experiences of energy associated with the nerve plexi. If I had an operation, right, could the doctor remove my navel chakra, or any chakra for that matter? No, right? Chakras are not physical things, right? You can't operate on a chakra and have it removed. But you definitely feel them, right? We've had an experience about that in the same way that you feel your own nerves and your own nervous system, okay? They are in a way emanations of the nervous system. So going even further with that, right? Think about the way that we describe our nerves, okay? It can be both a physical sensation, right? Oh, I've got that sharp shooting pain in my backside. Okay, that we know what nerve pain is on a physical level. Okay? Or it can also be an emotional, energetic describing. Okay? Right? I'm feeling jittery. I'm feeling really nervous. Okay? That is also our kind of nerve speaking, right? But more on that emotional, energetic realm. Okay? So just as the nerves kind of have this physical and then emotional, energetic, right? Chakras, right, live in that same kind of physical, informing the physical, right? Receiving information from the physical, and also emotional, energetic. Okay? So that's where the chakras fit in the spectrum of experience and sensation. Somewhere, right, between physical and emotional and energetic. Okay? So chakras describe what we call in yoga the subtle body. The subtle body is informed by and informs the physical body and the emotional body. The chakra system is an energetic extension and expression of the physical body. Chakras allow us, right, to tune in to more than just our physical bodies and give us language for that experience, like what we did with rubbing the palms. And once we better understand them, right, once we take ownership, right, of this aspect of our experience, and we have language around it, we can use these energies to better understand and be all that we are. Right? Not just seeing ourselves as physical bodies, right? But acknowledging ourselves and others as more. This is the beautiful thing about the chakra system. Okay, for example, all right, if you feel and you know that your energetic heart needs some support, all right, and I'm going to get a little bit more into this later, but you know, there's your physical heart and then there's your energetic heart. And if you feel and you know that your energetic heart needs some support, you can do, right, some heart chakra activation yoga to move prana and life force through the heart chakra and get that aspect of yourself energized and vitalized. So this is the practical application. Right? This is where chakra activation yoga comes in, right? Is acknowledging, right, this kind of beyond physical realm that, you know, we are, tuning into it and being able to apply these tools and techniques to support all that you are, right? To energize, to vitalize this system of pranic distribution. So this is how it works. Okay. Okay. Another thing I want to just share is that you already know what a chakra is. Okay. You really do. You already know all these terminologies, these vocabulary words. This is helpful, super helpful. But I want to affirm that you already know what a chakra is. Let me tell you more. Okay, so we might not call them chakras, but we feel them and we talk about them often. Okay, have you ever used the term I'm feeling open-hearted? Okay, open-hearted. I'm feeling really open-hearted today, or I'm feeling really broken-hearted. Okay. Right? So maybe you've used those terms or something similar, right? You've heard other people use these terms, right? These are already in our language, right? Culturally. And not just in this culture, but cross cultures, right? Every culture, okay, has, you know, different kind of vocabulary around these sensations. Okay, so the important thing to recognize is that these descriptors, they are not describing your actual physical heart, right? You're not talking about actually feeling physically open-hearted, like somebody opened up your physical heart, or broken-hearted, like somebody broke your physical heart, right? You know, when we use these terms, we are describing, right, your energetic heart, right? i.e., your heart chakra, right? That's what a chakra is. It's an energetic kind of experience. It's acknowledging, right, that you are having these kinds of sensations, okay? And then it lives here, and that it's associated with, you know, it can have physical ramifications, right? As I said, over time, these energies, right, can affect your physical well-being, right? If you're chronically feeling brokenhearted, right? Chakras are connected to the physical body, okay? And this is a primary example of where you can do your heart chakra activation yoga to, you know, soothe that, to energize, to restore, right? To vitalize, right? If that heart energy has been depleted or kind of lost in some way. All right, moving on. Another example, right? So if you have ever had a moment of clarity, right, when you just know something crystal clear, like bing, light bulb goes off, and you can see a situation more clearly, right? Not with your physical eyes, right? But there's a knowing, a seeing, an intuition, an insight, okay? These are all words, right, that describe, right, the energy of Ajna chakra, your third eye chakra, right? This knowing, right, is not something that's coming from your physical eyes, right? Although your physical eyes, right, help you to gather information, but there's something more. There's the inner eye, the third eye, that knows and sees in a slightly different way, right? And we, you know, we gather that information, and we are already processing that and interacting with that aspect of all we are. Okay, and one more, right? Think about a time when you felt very, very, very relaxed and comfortable, okay? And you noticed, right, that your breath slowed down, and your body just, right, kind of was able to sink into, you know, the moment more than it had throughout the rest of your day. Have you had that experience? Right? The grounding, kind of settling down experience. So that energy, right, is, right, the energy of your root chakra. Right? Again, we might not call it, right, Muladhara chakra. We might not even call it a root chakra or a chakra at all. We might know it as grounding or settling in, or the feeling, right, of safety. Okay, but these feelings, right, these are physical feelings, these are energetic feelings, these are emotional feelings, right? That crossover, physical, energetic, emotional, right? That is the realm of the chakra system. And that's the vocabulary that we are, you know, building upon. But I want you to know that a lot of these sensations, right, you may have already had experience with. Some of them, maybe not at all, and they're going to be brand new. And this is why we're exploring together. There's a lot of tools and techniques that I've got to share with you that, you know, might be absolutely brand new. And I'm super excited to begin this journey. So let's look one more time, right? Now that we've kind of had this explanation of terms here. So just the yogic chakra system. All right, so again, we are, you know, what's the purpose, right? The purpose is to kind of distribute prana, We want to irrigate, right, the body, mind, spirit, the physical, emotional, energetic, right, being that we are with this life force. We want to be, when you think of life force, it's like say on a dimmer, right, switch, and a light bulb on a dimmer switch. We want to get up to full brightness. Okay, we want to really be shining at our full capacity, and so prana is really the fuel that brightens our light. Okay, and this is the system, as you can see, the chakra system, right? If you look at the colors, okay, if you can brighten each one of these, if you can activate each of these colors, right, in the chakra system, right, individually, right, then what happens? That whole, right, full spectrum of light that you are, right, is brightened, and you are just shining out there in the world. And that's what I want for you. Right? That's what Chakra Activation Yoga is all about. It's about learning about these individual components of the light that you are, right? Different aspects of consciousness, where it lives in the body, what you can do physically, emotionally, energetically to brighten just that individual color, right? And clear any interference patterns from that happening. And then, right, acknowledging that this is a whole system, right? And that these gears, when they get spinning, when one spins and then the other spins and then the next one spins and then the next one, and all of these are spinning, and all that prana is being distributed throughout the whole system, down to the tips of your toes and the top of your head and your fingertips, and the thoughts that you're thinking are in alignment, right, with, right, your full brightness, right? Then that's really living from a from a yogic perspective. That's accessing your full potential, all the aspects of consciousness, and maintaining that, right, full brightness in all of these aspects of consciousness. Okay, so we've got the sushumna, the central channel, right, that energy tube, and inside that energy tube are, right, the kind of chakras. Okay, they are activated through this coming together of the Ida and Pingala, the electric and magnetic energies, through those main nadis, right? And this is what we're working with. Lots of questions, lots of things to explore. This is just the very beginning. Okay, but I want to give you an image. I want to give you some words, some vocabulary terms, prana, nadi, chakras, some tools, a basic kind of tuning in exercise to be able to develop your own vocabulary around the sensations of the chakras. And I'm here for you. So let me know what kind of questions you've got. And yeah, so let's see, right? And here we go, right? Are you ready? Are you ready to access an abundance of Chakra Activation Yoga tools and techniques to explore your chakras and ignite your light? Are you ready? I hope so. I know you're ready. Of course you're ready. You're here. You're like, yes, I signed up. Tell me more. All right, so here we go. I want you to begin with the root chakra. I say this in some of the early videos. Where do I start? What's the best way to do this? I always recommend root to crown, starting in the kind of physical, most physically embodied chakra. All the chakras are embodied, but the root chakra is most physically oriented, I should say. And I want you to start there and explore, use all the tools, find out which ones feel the best for you, and do the homework and the exercises and the midway meditations and the journal prompts. So much for you to explore. Thanks for being here, and I am delighted for you to ignite your light with Chakra Activation Yoga. Enjoy.